Welcome to today's explainer. If you've ever found yourself totally exhausted in an airport lounge or maybe stranded on some muddy road in the absolute middle of nowhere, well, you are going to love this. Today, we're previewing a really fantastic, fast-paced travel diary by scientist and researcher Sunil Kumar Kabarapu. It's called The Unsentimental Traveler, and it is absolutely going to speak right to your soul.
So let's dive right in by asking the core question that the author poses about the true, unfiltered nature of human journeys. Obviously, the destination is great, but what really happens in those spaces between the landmarks? Sunil makes this brilliant case that it's actually in the transitional spaces, the delays, the transit, the unexpected hiccups, where the most profound and honestly hilarious human moments actually happen.
Section 1. Glossy travel versus reality.
These days, we're constantly bombarded with what you could call Instagram travel. You know exactly the type. Curated highlights, stunning beautiful sights, just seamless montages. But the reality? Well, real travel is full of airport queues, endlessly delayed flights, and muddy roads. And this brilliantly sets up the whole hook of Sunil's book. He intentionally leaves behind those glossy social media facades to document the deeply humorous, very human moments of actual transit. He's not handing you a pristine guidebook here. He is handing you a much-needed reality check.
Section 2. Enter the unsentimental traveler. Now, if you're wondering about the commitment level before deciding to read this, here is your answer. 2 to 3. That is literally the number of sittings it takes to breeze through this. It's designed as a light, episodic read that you can just knock out over a single weekend. It's perfect if you're looking for something fun and engaging, but you don't really want to commit to a massive, dense novel. You can literally just pick it up, laugh at a few diary entries, and put it right back down.
There's this fantastic quote from the foreword that really sets the perfect vibe for the whole experience. It says, "The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. But what if the journey itself is the story?" Keep in mind, Sunil is a scientist. That means he has a highly trained, incredibly observant eye. And he takes those keen observational skills and turns them inward, finding these profound little realizations in the absolute most mundane travel frustrations.
Section 3. Chaos, Cows, and Culture. Okay, let's look at his return to India in the year 2000, after a 3-year stint living abroad in Australia. He was hit with immediate, intense, reversed culture shock. Suddenly, there were just too many people, too much traffic, too much sunlight, and way too many .coms and flyovers. He so hilariously captures how overwhelmed he felt at first. In one of my absolute favorite anecdotes, he describes the sheer inexplicable joy of successfully crossing a chaotic national highway on foot, just crisscrossing through the madness simply because Indian drivers uniquely anticipate pedestrians in a way that drivers abroad never, ever would.
Shortly after that, the journey takes him to his wife's village of Manoharpur. And talk about a stark contrast to city life. We're talking sticky mud paths, absolutely no electricity during the sultry evenings, and relying on a local muddy pond to bathe in the blazing heat. The raw reality of rural life hits him right in the face, and his diary captures the slow, lazy, and, let's be honest, somewhat uncomfortable transition into a completely different rhythm of life.
But leaving the village, that is where the story really takes the cake. He writes this amazing line. "In the heat, the calf is troubled by the extra human occupants and shows its annoyance." Yes, to get out of the village, he literally had to share a small, manually pedaled tricycle with a live calf. He and his wife couldn't even give the calf all the space because, hey, they had a journey to finish. It just perfectly demonstrates his witty voice and his total willingness to embrace the absolute absurdity of these unfiltered travel experiences.
Section 4. Worldwide airport absurdities.
Because nothing unites us quite like shared travel misery, let's look at his time in Europe. While waiting out a delay in Amsterdam, Sunil spots a young man carrying a bag with the slogan, "IT happens only in India." Now, Sunil had originally assumed that European airports were highly efficient and totally immune to the kind of chaos he was used to back home. But of course, Murphy's Law was waiting in the wings to quickly prove him very wrong.
You've got to listen to this comical sequence of events. Minute 0, a technical snag is announced. 40 minutes later, they announce that a leaking water problem is officially fixed. 5 minutes after that, the massive 747 actually taxis out. We're moving. But wait, minute 50, someone notices the water is leaking again. And by minute 55, they are turning right back around to the gate. Like Sunil notes in the book, a Boeing is a Boeing everywhere. Travel chaos is definitely a universal language.
And the chaos for sure doesn't stop in Europe. Fast forward to a 2005 business trip to Cairo. He arrives to find no one holding an arrival placard for him. His mobile SIM card completely fails him, despite all the assurances from his provider. Plus, he is totally shocked by the sheer number of military guards facing out from hotels. But the absolute funniest professional hurdle? Discovering that coordinating work schedules with his team back in India was nearly impossible, simply because the Egyptian weekend landed on Fridays and Saturdays.
Section 5. Your next weekend read.
Now, while the book is undeniably funny, it does touch on some surprisingly deeper themes. Take the terrifying 26/7 Mumbai floods in 2006. Sunil was stuck in his car with his prized 15-year-old umbrella, an item that had somehow miraculously survived his PhD days and his entire time in Australia. Yet, when he saw a stranger shivering out in the relentless rain, he debated it for about 2 minutes and then gave his beloved umbrella away. It's this really touching little story about attachment, letting go, and our shared struggles.
Which brings us right to this powerful quote from the author: "Experiences maketh a person." Ultimately, this book isn't some glossy destination guide telling you where to eat or what museum to go visit. It's a genuine exploration of our shared humanity. It shows us how the messy, totally unpredictable nature of travel, the lost luggage, the delayed flights, the uncomfortable tricycle rides, how all of that actually shapes who we are. So, as you're making up your mind about adding the Unsentimental Traveler to your list for a fun, quick 2 to 3 sitting weekend read, I want to leave you with one question to think about. What is your messiest, most unforgettable travel nightmare? Think about it, and you'll probably realize you already share a pretty deep, unsentimental connection with the author. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy reading.